Alrighty, it looks like we're in the game. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but fighting through these technical difficulties. Game number 5. To introduce the players in the left-hand corner of the map, playing as Zeus. His name is El Matador, and in the right-hand corner of the map, playing as Kronos. Eric BR. The shanking begins, maiden. It's already. Oh,
Well, so clearly El Matador is not interested in any Promethean spam, so he's willing to sacrifice that villager time going after the Oracle. Not a bad idea, dude. Not a bad idea.
that hurts. We've already got the Prometheus well and truly on the way. Sort of looks like it's just a 3:30 advance time, but El Matador with a fairly late advance time himself here. So he will be under some early pressure. That being said, Eric didn't send a Temple Fort with an Oracle.
Oh, that's a good point. So then what is he gonna do? Okay, yeehaw, he's heroic or classical at 3:30 roughly, but what's he doing? I mean, he's staying home. Usually you'd be seeing some Prometheans in the base.
I imagine Eric's going for a fast impact, but it is stock standard and it's all not Alfheim, uh, having flashback. Alfheim like gameplay. Fast advance time, pressure opponent, put a town center down. Now Eric's lost out on the early pressure because he lost the Oracle, but he's still going to be getting that town center. Set up, he's getting his wood, getting his gold, the mana to come down.
Okay, so boy, like we were talking about earlier, it really depends on choke points and depends on choke points, depends on gold mine positions, town centers, etc. You know, depending on what these players are going to do. Would you say the Promethean play is a way to go? The 2TC Caraballista slow play is a way to go? What do you think would be ideal for Eric here?
Well, the,
I'm
the, the, the question is like, what are you seeing from El Matador? Obviously, Eric is going for a town center, so he's already committed to this. He has no vision. He's got no idea what's coming for him.
yeah.
El Matador is getting himself his upgrade for the heroes. He's moving through, trying to get some pressure on. Killing off a villager,
Ooh.
he would be huge, but these are hero citizens, so they're not going to die anytime soon. As the hoplites are coming through for El Matador, and he is just going to be going for it. It looks like it's going to be all pressure all the way here, which means Eric's going to be used to this, I'm sure. But he doesn't know what's coming. He's got to be expecting a Techno Town Center or something, because that's normally what happens. Which does give the
Yeah,
element
yeah.
of surprise to El Matador.
Okay. Well, is he gonna lose this thing? He's trying to pick off the Minotaur, man. That could be big. But is it worth his sacrifice? Ooh, Minotaur goes down. Hero citizen saved. Well done by Eric right there.
Yeah, that was always going to happen. You see the bar going down slowly. Well, I'm just going to run for the tower when it's low enough, and he gets the kill. I think Eric he's off into this game. Both players have had some hiccups here. The challenge is going to be reading these hoplites. Now, El Matador, I don't think he should show the hoplites. It looks like he's going to. If he
You think he
shows
should wait
these,
until he has a group?
then yeah, if he shows these, then Eric knows what's coming, and we'll probably see Caraballister out straight away. Otherwise, you'd see Terma.
Hmm.
See the Terma queued up, and he might actually cancel that and go for something else right now. There we go. I'm in the mind of Eric BR right now. He hasn't started the
scary.
Caraballister because he doesn't have the resources, but I'm sure there it is. So yeah, this is something that maybe could have been avoided, but El Matador wants pressure. He wants villager kills here. He wants
Yes.
Eric to be under the pump.
Under the pump? He wants him to be under the pump?
That's the saying. It's a thing. Okay.
Is that a thing? Okay. And there's a
Oh, there's
second
a town
town
center.
center.
Oh, okay. Okay, no, okay. Maybe I'm not in the mind of I'm in the mind of Eric. I'm not in the mind of El Matador. Some sort of a fake rush here. Eric might overcommit to this and make a ton of Caraballister here. Just one is all he needs to hold everything off. And just one is all he
Yeah.
needs.
Yeah, but like you said from the beginning, is that the worst thing in the world? Because it's hoplite numbers and Carballista numbers. That's kind of, the crucial point of what we were talking about earlier. So yes, there is the caveat of potential Promethean spam at the same time, but a big question is how well can Kronos deal against hoplites? And yeah, if he's prompted to go into Kairos from the get go, yeah, it's kind of playing into what he wants from the beginning, eh?
Yeah. I guess so. We saw Irma getting sniped down, but you might lose it. Never mind. Everyone's okay. Lose it
Jason.
from Ethan. Everything's fine.
It's all fine, folks. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
So yeah, this is interesting. Like Eric has, I don't know, he's kind of been forced into producing some Kari Ballaster, which he might not want. He might want, I don't know. But El Matador got his town center up much later than he probably could have. So
Yes.
in terms of where the next part of this game goes,
Wait,
I mean,
why are you saying he might not want the Cairo numbers? There's hoplites out.
There are, but he might be wanting to have maybe just gone to the heroic age for this Arcus instead. Because this is not going to be a big attack coming through. It's just going to be a couple of hoplites, because now there's a town center up El Matador. This early attack is just like a big weird, like just slight deviations through the early game. You know what I mean? Like it's just like a different way to find yourself in a slightly different position to throw your opponent off their game.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Hero's getting a little bit of damage, not too shabby, I guess. And that's a third town center coming in for El Matador that we saw a second ago. So he's going 3 TCs, probably just going for Maxville. He's not really producing anything else. Is he going to go 3 TC? Well, okay, so try and remove your brain from Eric's brain.
Yep.
Done. El Matador's brain, 3 TCs into some hoplite defense against Terma, and just go for eco boom into, you know, like some heroic mythic play. Is that what he's going for here?
I guess. I mean, it seems like the idea is just gonna hold whatever Eric's 2 town center pressure is gonna be, and I imagine Eric's 2 town center pressure is gonna be get me to the mythic age, click implode, send my units.
Yeah.
That's a very, very solid game plan here against what El Matador's doing, but you still have to execute. And El Matador can still just hold. Like if he does good defense, like maybe it's not going to work. So then all the advantage is just in El Matador's back pocket.
Well, interesting. Interesting. Well, for
let's come up. It's got to set up all the economy. All this stuff has to happen first and foremost, and yeah, it's Eric's got a lot of time here to get some damage done. He's going to have to get it done, otherwise the strong Greek army is going to be very, very strong.
Well, Hyperion's coming in. It's halfway there through Hyperion, so maybe, you know, maybe that's chaos. There's really nothing to chaos. Is Hyperion really going to be that valuable? It opens up his opportunity to get a palace and go mythic, like you said, or maybe some heroic push. You know, if he really doesn't see a lot of pressure or units from El Matador, maybe get the jump on him and go aggressive early on, take map control, TC control, something like that. That's possibly an option, I guess. But implode's such a big valuable power spike. Maybe that's the plan, regardless. Nice pick.
Yeah, the thing that's he's going for Pontarius. I'm a little surprised on this because all the map is walled up. You're playing against hoplites. You don't have Thea for the boosted cavalry, but he's going to be going for it anyways. Maybe he feels like he's got to get some economic damage in. What I was expecting is Arcus and Destroyer potentially, or Satyr and Mermillo. Just anything to kind of deal with those hoplites and get some ability to sort of push through a town center, or alternatively just drop a palace and go straight to the Mythic age.
Well, he's getting Gemino, if that's still what it's called. Gemino,
Yep.
The upgrade for the daily hoppers.
So it's definitely making some of those. He's only recently got himself up to Oracles, right? He's got 5 out now, but they haven't been out for very long, and I think they're overlapping each other a little bit in the main base.
Not quite ideal. Ooh, not quite ideal favor. Ooh, income for him.
And Dionysus is on the way. Dionysus is a great counter to Hyperion, right? Like chaos units, but they've got heaps of armor. No problem.
Heaps of armor.
Well, yeah, you get heaps of armor, no? You put bronze down onto the chaos comes. Jab each other with their spears, but they're not going to do any damage. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I still think the Australianisms are still funny to me. You chuck down heaps of armor. Okay, here we go. There's military buildings are out. Things are starting to things are getting real here for our little Greek boy. He's got to be careful not to, to delay the military production too long. Otherwise, he could get himself into a sketchy situation.
Sure. One idea at the moment for El Matador, at the moment I think he's okay, but one idea would be to evacuate that Ford town center with all the villagers. He's got the wall behind. He's got an escape route, and just allow this town center to go down while he masses up his big army. Then he pushes back once he's got through, because he's already got all the economy. He's got 85 villages. His economy is really, really good. So he just needs to let that economy work for him, get the resources, get the income, and get the units out and the upgrades as well. But he might not even need to do that at this point, because I don't think Eric's got the pushing potential with the Qualifiers here.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, Sarissa was stopped. Sarissa was coming in. Sarissa was stopped with that military barracks going down. So that's an unexpected little bonus for Eric.
Eric is starting to cook up a bit of a score lead, but sometimes it doesn't really mean a whole lot. When you look at the actual difference here, we'll see how it's going to work. Is the town center going down? Is Eric actually making ground up on that top spot? More hoplites to come through. Heavy infantry coming in as well. Takes a while for that to finish off, as a whole bunch of Ontarius do get fought out here.
Is it going to save any of them? No.
No. I guess here's the other thing, right? With these Caribalistas that I don't think, like I said, we didn't want a whole lot of them. They die basically instantly to those Peltas. They can clean them up very, very quickly.
Oh yeah.
And from huge range. And one's down. There you go. I think El Matador's held. I think he's in a good spot.
Well, I mean, both players are basically full eco numbers, but El Matador has a little bit of some initiative in terms of map control. Looking at the economy, Eric's pretty dadgum close to going Mythic. He's pre-queued it.
This is the moment, right? If El Matador can catch this.
Catch what? What do you mean?
Bronze and A move. Catch this Mythic Age. Bronze and A move. Otherwise, he's going to lose these dudes. He's got to attack. It looks like he is. Eric is running away. These hoplites are going to come forward. El Matador is full pop. He's ready to go.
Yeah. It's about time.
Oh. There's the bronze. There's the restoration. Getting back up to full HP. Not going to lose any units here. Bronze and restoration down. There is, I don't know what, like 90 seconds remaining on this Mythic Age. 2 minutes for it to come through, right? Or is it a minute and a half? 2 minutes. 2 minutes for it to come through.
Yeah.
So he's still got a good amount of time here as the watchtowers to come in. 20 seconds left of bronze. The army is just going to retreat away. I don't know about chasing the Kontaris. Just kill off buildings, try and get damage done, go after villages, spread out that army. We see Eric grabbing himself another town center on the left-hand corner as El Matador trying to push forward with those Peltas. Does get some good damage done as the army has to retreat away.
I don't see it, boy. Bronze is done. Like, Resto is done. Bronze is done. I don't see it. He hasn't done squat aside from take out a palace. I don't see it, man. Implode is going to be brutal. He's going to have to realize Implode's coming in and just spread out his units like nuts.
Is it going to be brutal, though? Like, he loses all these units. Look at the production queue. There's so many units in there that he's just going to be able to get them back out. Look at the resources as well. I think El Matador losing this army is not going to be enough. Eric's got not much left in... He's 165 population, maybe.
Dude, it's a good point. Okay, fair point, but still, can he maintain it, I guess? He's got Hera... Is that Hera? Is Hera queued up? Pre-queued up, rather.
Pre-queued, he's going up. And he's got another restoration coming in a few seconds as well. He's got the favor in the bank. 170 favor in the bank. Another bronze can come through as well, Maiden. Not that you want to drop it when Implode's coming, but anyways, afterwards.
Yes. There it is. How brutal is it going to be?
The units are going to run away. He's fine. I don't think this implode is going to get the damage. He's going to lose a lot of units. Population is dropped down to 160. But it's going to immediately come back up as the hoplites get queued.
Okay. Okay.
Bolt onto one of the Argus. The earlier you use the bolt, the faster it comes off cooldown. other very, very good quotes, am I right?
Well, okay, so, but here's the thing, there's the map control that El Matador has already established. Like you said, boom, you're almost back up to, he's getting there, back up to full population once again. But he also already has the map control so that Eric doesn't really have pushing potential here. He doesn't really have much of a military advantage either. Maybe you're right, dude. I guess it seems like you're right. It seems like you're right. El Matador is chilling. No problemo after that implode.
And not only that, Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm is 30 seconds away, which is ouch town for Atlantean army. And I guess, I mean, the simple move here for El Matador is just to aim at that top town center. There's a palace there. There's a town center there. I mean, we're kind of talking about it like this game is on a timer for Eric. I don't actually know if that's the case. I haven't played this matchup that much, so maybe there's something in the late game. If Eric keeps on motoring ahead, gets his economy all sorted, maybe there's something in the late game for him in terms of like time shift shenanigans and things like that. But his army is going to be very, very hurting after this lightning storm.
Indeed, look at the look at the pop drop. Oh! It got everything. Oh, ouch! That had to hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
147 pop. Let's find some villager kills on the bottom.
Okay. Here's the thing, Boyd. I think the Cantarius. Eric went for Cantarius, but he never really used the Cantarius. So he made Cantarius into hoplites, exactly like what you said, but he never really got a lot of raiding, a lot of pushing. He didn't really get a lot of value from those Cantarius. So throughout the kind of mid to late heroic stage, it seems like El Matador held the possible Cantarius pressure just fine, no problemo. Now it's kind of biting Eric in the butt because he's ultimately, there's still hoplites. Like the implode didn't straight up delete the hoplite numbers. They're back, they're in black, and they're ready for action. And so the Cantarius just aren't doing it. They're not quite cutting it.
Yeah, and Eric's trying to get through. There's another restoration to insult to injury, but Eric's trying to get through and get raids happening, but he just has no population. He's got no income. He's at 94 villages, but he doesn't have any military buildings either. 4 military barracks only. The Cantarius get cleaned up. The villagers popping out to try and repair this one in. Eric's chances and hopes and dreams of making it into the main event seemingly getting smaller and smaller as some Arcus coming over to help out, but the Peltast are there to send them packing.
Indeed. The hoplites are going to send everything else packing. He might be sending Eric packing here in a few minutes. This is his last chance, though. Eric's dude. Remember the what's the peach blossom? No. Great swamper. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say maybe Eric is gonna fight, but El Matador claims the victory and moves on to the main event. Eric gets knocked out 3-2, 2 days in a row. Ay, it's gotta sting a little bit, man.
Yeah,
Poor guy.
That was just a well-played game from El Matador from the very beginning. I think this was, at the start of this series, I was talking about how Eric has the strategy and El Matador has got like the RTS mechanics. We kind of saw that a little bit in that hour-long game, Gaia versus, I want to say it was Shenong, maybe it was Fuxi. But anyways, we saw it in that game where El Matador's mechanics were carrying it. But in that last game, that was so strategically smart. Like at the start, goes for the early pressure, reveals the hoplites on purpose, it seems, to Eric, forces out those Kyro Ballast, or not even forces, he just gets the Kyro Ballaster out, decides, okay, now it's time to go in for a town center, and he just kind of threw the natural progression of this matchup out the window. And with that all in mind, execution in the end, just chef's kiss from El Matador in game 5 there.
Indeed, man. Indeed, I agree, and I was completely wrong. As we're watching this bronze come in, I was in the implode, the eventual implode. I thought, I thought that with implode coming in, I know that El Matador's economy was pretty sick, right? His production, you can see the production behind that upcoming match graphic. But I thought he didn't really accomplish much of anything with Bronze and Restoration, and therefore the implode would be brutal. And the implode
Mm.
hurt, but like you said, he had plenty of infrastructure behind that to just walk straight past it, no problemo. So
Yeah.
good macro, and
I mean,
no
that's
problemo.
it. Like, that's it. If you've got 100 villagers working and you lose your army, that's a pretty quick time to get yourself back up. It's gonna take you 1 minute. You got 100 villagers, 1 minute to get yourself 6K resources back, yourself back up to full pop. Good to go. Man, what a series. You've gotta give props. That was absolutely insane.
Yeah. You know what? Congratulations to El Matador. He definitely earned his way into the main event. Eric, by all means, putting up the games, man. Entertaining at the very least. Forcing
Yeah.
5 games yesterday and today, fighting like a champ, man. That was really This was a crazy entertaining series. Do you remember game 1? What was game 1? Ghost Lake? Do you remember the Ghost Lake game? It was a long time
Yeah.
ago.
I don't remember the Ghost Lake game.
This was one hell of a series.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very back and forth, but yeah, El Matador eventually takes it. So, do we have an update on what we're doing, Boyd?
I think we're gonna be moving into B versus Nullus. It's currently 1-2 for Nullus in that series. I think we're gonna take the shortest of breaks here. The game starts in 4 minutes and 30 seconds, so we're gonna jump into that game when we can, but the shortest of breaks beforehand, and we'll see you guys very, very short.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Maiden, and we are back with more action. Spawning on the left-ish side, we have 3DB, the Russian AoE4 player. What is he playing? He is playing Uranos. And over on the bottom right-handish side, we have Nullus. What is Nullus playing? Nullus is playing Odin. Very nice. So we got Odin against Uranos here. What is this map? This map is Silk Road. Yeah, thank you, Vodka. If you're not familiar with this map, it's one of the new Chinese maps. You have these little, what are they called? Are they trading outposts? Click on one for me if you could. I can't remember. Trading posts. There we go. They're kind of like, there's 3 of them here in the center, and they're kind of like mini plenty vaults. So you get a little bit of a what's it called? A little bit of a resource trickle by gaining control of these. And so you can see B so far has control of all of them. However, it looks like Nullus is fighting back with the Berserk trying to get control of these. So a little bit of an eco advantage for our Uranos player to get started. With having said all that, historically, I think everybody would like to be in Odin's position in this matchup. However, things are a little bit different on Retold. Are you with me, Boit? Are you ready for
I
action?
am with you so much right now. I'm so excited. Silk Road, Maiden. What a time to be alive. I almost feel like I got no idea how much these. Actually, I've got some idea how much these are worth. I think it's like 0.5 food or resources a second in the archaic age, and then once you hit the classical age, they go up to like 2 resources a second.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is it worth it to maybe send a villager forward and shank? Hey, that's what I'm thinking.
Hey.
We're not whether we say that or not, I don't know. But the other thing that you can do here, which is a little bit Norse favored, I would say, just a little bit on this map, is you can drop houses down or buildings down on these trading posts, and that means your opponent can't steal them without killing off the buildings. So that's one little angle for you on this map. This is what's really cool. This is a little bit of a gimmick on this map, and one thing that I enjoy is like seeing Age of Mythology players get thrown into different situations and seeing what they come up with. It's always so creative, and especially when we got someone like 3DB here to come up with something very fun. We'll see what he's going to go for.
I completely agree. I usually don't like gimmicky stuff. Like if you look at a lot of people probably familiar with AoE2 maps, there can be a lot of gimmicky stuff. I usually don't like that. I think it's really weird, but I think this is okay because there are 3 of these trading posts, and so it's really difficult to have control of all 3, and it kind of gives you several different places to focus on in the middle of the map. So having said that, it's not like King of the Hill where either one person has the plenty vault or the other person, right? There can be an imbalance because there's 3 of them, but still, you can have one yourself and kind of fight over the second one. I don't know. It's gimmicky, but it's not too gimmicky, I guess is what I'm getting at here. Anyway, aside from the gimmick and how exciting the map is, Boyd, Uranos versus Odin these days, who would you say has the advantage in general on paper?
Advantage? Probably like a very slight Odin advantage. Very slight. I think the outplay potential with Uranus is through the roof, so I don't think the advantage really results in anything generally. Like it's all about how you use those sky passages and how you engage fights, how you use your shockwave, chaos, carnivora. We are seeing the Prometheus angle here, so even more out of the box here from 3DB. But yeah, I would give this one as close to a 50-50 as 50-50 can come.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Retold. Well, I am a little bit on the fence about the Prometheus.
Well, historically, I don't know what the method behind the madness is necessarily. Hey, there goes an oracle, just dropping or losing an oracle right now. He had 5 oracles just a moment ago. So going for some Promethean spam. Historically, Odin struggling with to handle myth unit spam just because his Herser are so daggone slow.
Ooh, I'm starting to see the meth, the crazy. I'm starting to see the B. The B. Okay. All right. B.
Yes.
recognizes here that you're right. Odin struggles a little bit against these. He doesn't have all the Thanes for the Herser, and that, he does have Sesrumnir for the Herser, but it's a little bit of a struggle. But if you then add in Arubalistar, all of a sudden those Herser, they die very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is the idea. He's going to go Carabalistar. You're a Carabalistar, that most likely. Make a whole bunch of Prometheans, and then he's going to try and build this army, which Nullus isn't going to be able to deal with.
Well, we do see, I mean, in the queue, Carbalista in the queue. He's got some Merms coming out, if I'm not mistaken, as well, that are already done producing. So sounds about right. You know, he's back up to 5 Oracles in terms of favor generation. So sounds about right. It sounds about right, honestly. But, Boyd, it does take a little bit of time to get those Promethean numbers going, the Carbalista numbers going, etc. As we see a little engagement here, not too shabby, which does mean that right now Nullus has control of those central, those trading posts in the middle. So that's one per trading post. It's 1.5 resources per second. So that's a pretty decent trickle, in all sincerity. He's eventually, maybe that army composition for B is going to be strong enough to just push out into the map and win a lot of fights. But in the meantime, that's a nice little boost that Nullus has on the Odin side.
Yeah, so well, I mean, we'll see. This economy, you've already got somewhat of an economic advantage as Norse, but then also having the this trading post is going to be a big help for Nullus. So I'm a little bit surprised we haven't seen the Oceanus. It just kind of like get that Oceanus out, and then you can try and contest the middle. But yeah, 3DB is going for the big death ball comp, and we'll see if we can get there. I guess on the other hand, there's another trick which I know that 3DB's used before. Normally, Carabalistar can't garrison into anything. They can't garrison into Palace, they can't garrison into Town Center. But as Uranos, you can pop out, you can pop in, you can pop out, and there is not you can't really kill off these bad boys here. We're gonna be seeing that coming through here. There's that Valor as well. Oh, the damage coming in as Nullus' units just fading. Great play there for 3DB.
That was a great fight. I kind of underestimated that fight. It was kind of hard to see like which units were popping out of the sky passage right there. That turned into a pretty great fight for B, honestly.
Yep.
And I haven't said that, Boyd. Honestly, Nullus needs the trading post. There's already 36 to 29, okay, 36 to 30 citizen eco discrepancy. He needs those trading posts, man, to try and stay ahead, or stay ahead economically, I guess you could say. Explain it.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we'll see where to next. I mean, the thing is, like we've already said, Nullus needs an answer for these Carabalistar. What is that? The one thing that could be interesting would be getting Njord and getting out Jarls with Ringgiver, because that's going to both deal with the Carabalistar and deal with the Prometheans. That's a long ways away. Instead, he says, oh, I'm going to get Disbalot, I'm going to get my Valkyrie out, I'm going to keep spamming units, and we'll see.
We shall see indeed.
But I guess the one thing with what 3DB is doing is he's got to stay around those sky passages. It's too scary with the Carabalistar sitting out on the map. Using these sky passages makes them very, very useful.
Well, so having said that, you know, I think that we're seeing over on the far left side, far right side, he has plenty of gold options because he has the sky passages. So I don't think there's a big risk for him to get, yep, thank you, Vodka. I don't think there's a big risk for him to get gold starved or really have a big eco problem. So, but eventually he needs to start taking town centers and pushing against Nullus, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, he might have a great death ball, but like you said, eventually he needs to move out onto the other side of the map. So when is that going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know if this is like a ticking time bomb type of thing where it's like this 3DB army is just going to get to the stage of I'm just not going to die against the Norse, or if maybe it's just not that strong, and we'll see Nullus like clicking up through Skadi, clicking Frost, and just saying, oh, I can kill off a half freeze your army, and then I'll kill off the other half type thing. and get through it that way. I'm not. Honestly, this is very new to me. As those training cavalry popping in, trying to get damage done, and 3DB says, "No, no, no. This is what these sky passages are so good. Look at him go. I'm loving it.
Look at him go.
Look at him
By
go.
good, you mean good. They're so good. They're so annoying. That's what I believe. That's what Boyd meant to say, everybody.
I've left my Atlantean hatred behind. Atlantean players, you guys are all right.
Boyd has officially gone to the dark side. That's all I heard. Long ago, in a galaxy far, far away. Anyway,
here we go. We are going to be seeing Yord. So, the idea of Jarl, Ringgiver Jarls, is going to be on the table. Plus, Mountain Giants that kill off Sky Passages really quickly. Maybe just a big push into the main base where you can't really keep running away. There's some ideas here for Nullus, but B is building Catapulties. Catapulti Caraballista, this is pretty scary. Plus the other thing, Maiden, which I don't know, I find this difficult. Look at the favor for 3DB. I think he's only got one temple, and he's managing to spend it all. He's using that Valor kind of on cooldown, 10 favor for the next one. Maybe not going to use it again, but now he can throw down an extra temple, and he can just keep pumping these Prometheans out in a big way.
It's up to 7 oracles as well, so pretty good favor generation. That hill fort? Yeah. Okay, fair point, but still, when he's only 2.5 resources per second, and that's for all 3 trading posts. So the economy for Nullus should be pretty sick. He's been hunting this whole time. There's tons and tons of hunt, boars, deer, etc. There's tons and tons of hunt. So so much hunt, all the dwarves, trading posts. It'll be interesting to look at the resource timeline at the conclusion of this game. However, you're absolutely right about those catapulties. Those things are super, super scary for a Norse player if you're trying to go raiding cavalry.
I'm getting a little excited, Maiden. There's a technology that's just been pre-queued called Jotuns.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen it yet, but there is, sometimes, RTS games, Age of Empires RTS games, they get patched, and certain patches come with it unique sort of quirks. By quirks, I mean bugs. There's a really fun one with this huge shockwave and forest fire. We see the walking woods coming down as well.
The burnt walking woods, are those going to be enough to pick off those Cairo Ballista? That's not a bad idea, but there are some hero Kairos going after that. B is bringing the citizens, dude. He's bringing the boys. It looks like he's taking this fight, maybe no problemo. Yeah. Nullus has to retreat, man. Holy smokes. What a fight right there. The Jotun is starting to come in, but the first mountain giant going down.
Why'd they have to fight? I wanted to finish my thing. That's fine. It's fine. Jotuns is there's a bug. There's a bug in the mountain giant kid, like Wonder Age size.
So cool. It's not a bug. It's a feature, man. It's a feature.
That's right. But so far, 3DB are holding that big push. There's not really much left in terms of like apart from Jotun, and there's not much power left at the moment. Nullus in terms of like god power. Obviously, you can use another walking woods or potentially another forest fire if he's crazy enough.
Yeah.
But he's got to figure out another way through this Kronos, Caraballista Catapulti, Promethean army.
Dude, I think this is weird, man. It's 14 minutes into the game, and we have not seen a lot of fights and raiding and all that kind of stuff. Neither player's taken a second town center. Do you agree? This is a little bit of a weird game. Usually when it's one-to-one town center, it's because players are constantly fighting and raiding and on and on and on. But these guys are just kind of like, they're just chilling, trying to find a good time to attack. We saw the one attack before. This feels like a little bit of a weird game to me.
Yeah, it is a bit strange, but this is kind of the part and parcel of the Uranos sort of thing. It's very, very challenging to attack an Uranos player, as they can just leave. Or they can pop out. And they can look over here. He's on one side of the map. His village is on another side. He's on a gold mine again. And then, there he is. Look at him. Look at how big he is. You're done. Right, never mind. We'll see him. We'll see him later. There he is. Look at him go.
Boom, boom. Yeah, buddy.
Big boy. Big boy.
Well, okay.
But
Here we go. Yes.
it looks like Nullus might actually just go for the main base here. I mean, the army is a little bit out of position. They can drop back into the Sky Passage.
True. True. Hyperion's coming in, by the way. Hyperion is coming in. A lot of throwing axemen there to possibly.
Is this just the normal Yoton? It might be. Guys, gigantic. Look at him.
Is this it, boy? Again, chaos. There's the
It's
chaos.
not chaos onto the back of those throwing axemen gets a huge amount of damage done there.
Pretty good.
Ooh! Shockwave to come down.
Yeah, not too bad of a shockwave. Not too bad of a shockwave. Well, okay. Game's still in the balance, in my opinion. Game is still in the balance. I can't quite tell if either player really has an advantage over the other. It's just kind of two big awkward armies trying to find somewhere to find some damage. Yeah, good eye there, Vodka. 0 on food for Nullus right now. He does have the trading post to grab some food. Huh.
I mean, at this point, he's just kind of sitting with his army. I mean, he's making more Jotans, which
It's cool.
it is cool, but it will be a big amount of pressure he can run in onto. But what's the plan? Where
Right?
are you going to go and attack?
That's what I'm saying. It feels a little bit awkward. It's 1-to-1 town center. The sky passages makes it so that, like you've already talked about, there's not a clear target for Nullus aside from maybe just the main base, but he can still just get out of there with all of his units, economy, and everything. It's a little bit awkward. It's a little bit weird.
And I guess the one like little trick you have with Norse, as opposed, you can do this with other civs as well, but it's much more easy with Norse. As we see the Huskal coming through to get some citizen kills here, is on each of these gold mines, you can just drop a building. Then all of a sudden, if your opponent wants to come and jump around the map with Sky Passages, at least you're going to know they're there and you can pop units out and deal with them.
True.
You
Norse
have
pretty
that
darn
in your
good at
back
that.
That's right. So, where are the catapultis at? It looks like the catapulti numbers are sort of dwindled a little bit here as the Caraballis need to pull back. Those Raiding Cavalry are getting through here in a really, really big way.
It's still such a. I mean, there's a bunch of Mervs. It's still such a. Oh, another Jotun. Still so weird, man. It's hard to tell. Like both players, the Kairos just popping in and out. It's both players are they're just killing each other, man. There's no clear.
That's exactly right. It's so close. The fight is so close here. Those Caraballis are one misstep away from a lot of pain, but so too are those Raiding Cavalry. Like they're getting cleaned up incredibly quickly, and we're seeing a raid. That's where the Catapulti are, Maiden.
Yeah.
Why aren't they even here to help defend?
Hey, when you could be raiding, why not? This is.
We'll be getting some good damage onto the fallen axeman from afar, but the Jotun's coming forward. I want to see him just killing off that Sky Passage. Stop the. Like, look at the damage. He basically one hits it.
Holy crap!
It's dead now.
Nice. Okay. If Nullus takes this, boy, by the way, it's 2-to-1. If Nullus takes this, that means Nullus moves on and B is out. So actually, B is fighting for his life right now. Things have been kind of back and forth for quite some time, but kind of in a sneaky manner, B's kind of put himself into a little bit of a sketchy position. His one town center is just about dead. Look at the military difference, 36 to 110. That town center's just about down. Where's all of his population? Where's all of his military population? He's been zipping around the map, but now he's got nothing back home.
He's just lost everything, Maiden. There's a couple of Caraballis still left, but where's everything else?
Yes. 36 pop mountain. No way! And Nullus retreats! Oh! Could he? I mean, okay, that was maybe a good idea to retreat, but crud, man, look how close that town center is to going down.
See the sneaky Sky Passage on the bottom
Down
of the
on
map?
the bottom side. Yeah. Ta-da! Hello, economy.
Sneaky Sky Passage. I don't even. I wouldn't think to look there. Not very well. Maybe I would if I'm playing against Kronos, but that's a sneaky sky passage. He's steps away from getting over there.
That is a blind Valkyrie. I tell you what, she is oriented perfectly. That is a very blind. Oh, maybe not. The Huskarl is clever girl, and boom, he finds him. This is bad news. Bad news for B. There's another one. There's another one, boy.
Yeah, but Nullus is. I think Nullus is pulled too far in front at the moment. His army is incredibly powerful. All those Caraballists are now falling.
Yes.
Now B is down to 6 military population as he pulls it. Now Nullus is this game? Is this him up?
That's it.
Is that over? Did he just win?
Yeah, it's 3-1 now, dude. Best of 5. Nullus moves on. Nullus moves on, and B gets knocked out, dude. B gets knocked out in a weird way, in a weird fashion. Thematic, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was a really, really nice try from B. I think that map really played into giving Nullus that little bit, maybe too much of a boosted economy by like the way that B was approaching that matchup is very slow, defensive, and it just gives the map over to Nullus, to the Odin, and he gets all of those trade posts, and I guess from there it just built on that advantage.
Indeed.
You could totally see what 3DB was going for, and it looked very scary. And Nullus was respecting it as well. Like right here, this big fight from 3DB. This is like, wow, all the guys just died.
I'm still curious though, why no additional town center from the either player in the classical age? I know the Carblists are expensive and on. He's going for the death ball, etc., etc. I get it. I totally get it. But still, if you were able to grab, if either player were able to grab a second town center, maybe particularly 3DB, boom! What a sick shockwave right there. Very
that one was huge. But all these Hero Carabalist, this is kind of like we saw it already once with the Fey Beast, right? If you send those God Power units onto a line of heroes, they just kind of melt.
Yeah.
Even here, 3DB played this position, quite well.
Yeah.
He's in a great spot here, but I guess his economy may be a little bit out of whack. Maybe he could have dropped a town center right here and now as the option to like find himself that advantage. But instead he just keeps on, like you said, he's just staying on one town center. No advantage is found.
I mean, again, because like you see, he's got the citizen advantage, but ultimately, that was such another big shockwave. Ultimately, Odin with all the hunt around the map and the trading posts, the economy was just really good for Nullus, man. He was able to get lots of upgrades, Jotuns, age up as he needed to. It didn't look like he had a huge economic advantage, but Odin's, I mean, the eco is going to be sick by all means. If we have the opportunity, Vodka, and can check the resource timeline, sweet. If we've already moved out and on to the next game, that is also sweet, no problemo. Stay tuned, everybody. We got Joe and Mosca coming in hot here in just a minute. Okay, all right. We've already moved out of the post game, which is no problemo.
Looks like we're going to be going into game number 4 in this series. Mosca up 2-1 here, but we've got Joe. Joe hasn't played an Egyptian god yet in this matchup. This is Joe's bread and butter. This is what you're most scared of when you're playing against this guy. I'm scared of playing against his Egyptian because he is that good. But he is going up against Freya and Mosca's Freya. Mosca's Freya is very, very strong as well. Any thoughts before we jump in? We're going to be jumping in very quickly.
Yeah, let's just get into it. Here we go.
Alrighty. In the left-hand corner of the map, the blue color playing is Isis. His name is Joe. And his opponent currently up 2-1 in this best of 5 series. Match point, or set point, I should say. And tournament qualifying point. It's Mosca, and he's going to be playing as the red Freya. It's Alfheim Maiden. It's an open-ish Alfheim, or at least kind of looks like it. In a way, it's closed because the trees are there, but it's open-ish. What are you expecting to see here?
Well, because it's open-ish, like you said, I think that that opens the door it opens the door to a lot of aggression from the ISIS side. Joe does have an aggression bone in his body, I suppose you could say. I know Isis isn't necessarily his typical Egyptian pick. Ra and Set both being banned by Moscow, so good by him in the draft. Anyway, so Isis isn't quite his bread and butter, but it's definitely his bread by all means. Anyway, so I think that definitely opens up the door to some aggression. If you look at the minimap, Mosca on the Freyr side of things, the 2 TC, really strong heroic play, maybe some decent Vidar time, something like that, to try and fight against the Egyptian. I think that there's possibilities there, but the gold mines maybe don't quite facilitate exactly what he wants. So I think that this looks pretty good for Joe, and it maybe looks pretty good for a game 5 of the series. But let's see what Mosca can pull out of his hat. I don't know. Do you
Yeah,
is
I
do
kind
you
of
get the
like this
same
matchup.
vibe?
I like this matchup with Rhett
Hmm.
because it takes so
Oh.
long for the ISIS player to kind of get going. Like if you want to go, you can't really do like one talent center all ins, right? With ISIS, like you used to be able to. Migdol
Mm,
cost increase, kind of like hurting that. So you have to kind of find a different angle. Two talent center fast heroics is still pretty strong, but that does give the Freya player the time to set up his own town centers. It's time to set up his Asgardian Bastion. So
mhm.
it can be quite hard to kind of push in and punish and do a timing attack of some sort. That being said, Joe's Egyptian, his style of Egyptian is on a completely different planet to my own, and he finds wins in a where I would never imagine them to be. So he might show me something in this game.
Someone in chat name Sean Faghaben talking about some Sphinx cheese with the second monument going up. I almost want to say
Yeah,
Anubites rather than Sphinxes, just because knowing Joe
yeah,
as an Egyptian player in the past, I would favor Anubites, him to go for Anubites over Sphinxes, honestly.
yeah, for sure. He loves the Anubites. He's a big fan. The other thing is with ISIS, this is my own personal preference. I don't think you can spam myth units. It's great, make Sphinx and all the good stuff, but a second charge of prosperity
Hmm.
that can be so helpful. So like going Anubis, making like a handful of Anubites, getting yourself Necropolis, the technology which boosts your favor income,
Mhm.
and then dropping that first prosperity and then getting that second one like straight afterwards. That can keep you like that can keep your economy kind of going and in like a similar level to some of those more powerful economic civilizations like Norse and keep you in there. So there is that angle as well.
True, very true. And by the way, we do see Anubis coming in for Joe. So it is
Yep.
Anubis. It is myth unit spam, and we have oh my goodness, what's his name? Uller. There we go. Uller coming in for Mosca over on the red hand side. Okay, is that Joe's
Uh,
style to go for second prosperity? It's a good idea.
uh, if he's got the favor for it and he's got all the villages on gold, then it doesn't matter about style. It matters about deciding to do it in the moment, I guess.
Yeah,
But
touche.
yeah, the thing with the myth units that you get from Isis and Nubites, they're pretty good, but they're going to start falling off once Goaty come in.
Hmm.
Scorpion men are pretty good, but there's Goaty there. You don't want to build them. Phoenix, same deal. Mummies, they're pretty good as well, and they are actually decent against the Goaty because you can kind of stay away from them. But they're ways down the track. So in some ways, it's just the best usage of your favor. Some of the time, depending on what your strategy is.
Having said that, though, Goaty are a good option, once you get to the heroic age. But you got to be careful,
Yeah,
man. If you overbuild Goaty, those things
you don't want to.
Yeah, you don't want to. Those things disappear against like a bunch of Migdol units, something
Yeah,
like that. If you can micro
yeah,
them well,
yeah,
yes,
exactly.
you mitigate the myth units, but at the same time, you might mitigate your own army. As we
Oh,
see some
oh, oh,
Anubites coming in, is he going to grab
oh,
one?
oh, it
Schwang,
gets
go kill.
one kill, yes. This is Joe at his best. He's so good with these Anubites. I mean, he snuck in.
Yeah.
I don't know if he snuck in like underneath the nose of Moscow. He's a little bit slow on the reaction there. But gets a villager kill, and he's going to be very happy with that. Feet of the Jackal now coming in. We see Axeman as well. Joe is going to be doing the classical age shenanigans here, Maiden.
Yeah. Well, I kind of expected a little bit of theoretically, some Ancestors Eclipse, just Isis Ancestors Eclipse. It's a no-brainer, but once you kind of brainer, then, knowing Joe, yeah, this makes perfect sense, exactly what he's doing here. 3 Anubites already out.
Yeah.
And Necropolis coming in, by the way.
Yeah, that's good. So he's going to have a lot of that extra favor. But the Asgardian Bastion to come down. It is behind a wall, so it's going to be very hard to punish. You could drop, not Ancestors, but Serpents here and try and sort of slow this down while you break through the wall. But it will take quite a while here as those Anubites diving in, picking off one, throwing action. Great play there. You'll know there's the Serpents to come through onto this position. This is going to be a very, very big distraction. Long time for that Asgardian Bastion to go down with only 2 units on it.
Yep.
And like, oh! Bursty drops.
Yes! The Junker has made it to the game. Is it going to get a Anubite kill?
Oh,
not quite.
No Anubite kill, but a big amount of damage onto the Axeman. That's going to be 4 Axeman kills. I mean, Joe can't be happy that he lost 4 Axemen, but he's got to be happy that Golden Burst is off the table.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a good usage of Golden Bursty right there. I think he completely baited Joe in. I wonder if Joe doesn't play the game a whole lot. He kind of shows up for tournaments. He smashes it. He does a great job in tournaments, and then he goes a little MIA. A little MIA. So I wonder if he just doesn't, I don't know, he kind of gets into his classic Egyptian mode and he kind of forgets about Golden Bursty.
I think he was hoping that would happen, to be honest. Like, I think
really?
he wanted that. Yeah. That's like your peak value Golden Bursty from the other side. That's like, you want them to do that. You want them to get no value from it. If this was this is post nerf Golden Bursty, by the way. If that was the Golden Bursty from before, all those Anubites would have died. So yeah, that was kind of interesting to see how different it does become. So that was nice. Joe forces it out. The Asgardian is up. The town center on the back is going to go through for Moscow as well, and we continue in this game with Joe having his Arcade Cage God Power. He's going to be able to go up. Probably, I would assume he's going to go through Sobek here, just for Locust, Rock, Sukos sort of ideas, and the stronger Camel Riders for later, but he might go through Nephthys for Nepti, and other sort of like priest boosting shenanigans.
That could be.
But yeah.
Well, I think that maybe historically he would go for Sobek. Yeah. Historically, it would be Hathor. Haha. But I think, the rock giants, pretty strong. So maybe getting a little boost to the priests could be a decent idea. Maybe you just go for mummies and, call it a day. But maybe that's the priest upgrade for Nephthys. Maybe that is a little bit of a allure of Nephthys as well.
Yes. Well, I mean, this is one thing that I do like. One thing that I really like from what Joe has managed to get out of this early game. And just take out the fact that, Asgardian Bastion is kind of defensive. Golden Bursty off the table. Moscow's got the back town center. Take that off. That's all kind of bonuses for Joe. But Joe took this a forward town center, which secures him this entirety, basically, with that wall at the top, the entirety of that top gold. Yeah. Beyond that, because of all of those facts before, Moscow with the back town center, the back Asgardian Bastion, Joe can now move down the map, drop a Migdol stronghold on the bottom side, or 2 or 3, secure that town center, and that's going to be 8 gold mines secured for Joe, and Moscow has got...
Basically, yeah. That's exactly what I was gonna say. If whoever owns the middle of this map, really, sure, there's still walling potential for both sides. You know, Mosca can wall the crap out of that bottom side and maybe secure himself some gold mines. He can push into the top side, maybe secure himself some gold mines. But if you own the middle, of the map, it's so much easier to establish control of both the bottom and the top, where all that gold is. So something to pay attention to as we see some Anubites coming in.
Raids. Oh my
Oh,
god! And there's
dude.
going to be a locust as well. You don't want to drop it though, because there's going to be the dwellers are just going to harass it. That's so much damage there. Huge raids from Joe.
Nice. Very nice. Aegir's coming in. It was Sobek after all. Vodka showed that on screen a minute ago. It was Sobek after all coming in. So we will have a Locust like Boy just mentioned. Wall coming in. Nice.
And look at this. An immediate sun-dried mud brick. Now this... We did see the Migdols getting nerfed in the recent patch. But that technically means the sun-dried mud brick technology got buffed. He's taking more resources off the Migdol. So you're getting that technology nice and fast, then dropping your Migdols down. I'm not exactly sure what they cost. It's probably going to be 390, 290 gold. Is my guess off the top of my head. We get a little check of a Migdol stronghold when we get the chance. As the Anubites or getting taunted underneath that town center's got to hurt. And Joe will be out of here.
He's out of there. That was close, though. Mosca almost picking off. It might pick off these two, but the other three getting out with their lives. Well done, well done. There we go.
How is he? How much is it? 425. Right.
Close. Yeah. Close.
That's really, really helpful, right? So if anybody is struggling to get their Migdols, sun-dried mud brick tech, just like Joe, and live the dream. Yeah. I still want to see Joe getting onto the bottom of the map. That's the important part. If he can just secure that off, this top gold mine is going to get, this top side of the map is going to get itself sorted out. But that bottom one, you don't want to be letting Mosca sneak through and get walls up himself, get buildings in there, and all that stuff there.
Indeed. Indeed. And Mosca is kind of, this is like a little bit securing himself. Ooh, more Anubite raids. Oh, dude!
And the locusts! And the locusts! And the path blocking. I mean, that was a good amount of damage there. The differential in village is 59 to 47.
Wow. That was pretty good, man. That was pretty good. The fact that Anubites can jump over walls is, man, I hate it so much. But that was sick. That was a really sick move by Joe right there. Is that a third town or a fourth town center? Third town center? Joe's up to 3 TCs.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he took the back one.
Yeah, there you go.
When did he do? When in a moment that I wasn't paying attention here, suddenly on 3 towns. I'm surprised he didn't just take the 4th one. Like, why take the back one when you've got map control? Anyways, that's fine. 3 town centers means more villages to come through. He's got plenty of gold. Still has got access to this prosperity. He could drop them. He could drop the prosperity and the market and just get a huge amount of gold in. Buy food, Mythic Age. That's an option. Or prosperity and spam all the farms out. I think he's already got the farms, so it doesn't really matter.
Yep. 71 villagers, resources looking good, decent amount of farms. He doesn't quite have full, all the farms that he needs. It's definitely drop. I mean, why not use prosperity sooner rather than later? Okay, well, ta-da.
There he goes. Yep.
There you go.
27 villages on 32 now. So a hefty amount of villages on gold will mean a huge boost to that gold income.
Yes. And
probably will resolve things. I mean, either you spam out a ton of Migdols here, which isn't happening. He's going for the Tsukos, whatever they are. And he's probably looking to go to the Mythic. I would be surprised to see him not go for Osiris here, but he might pick Thoth, given how far in front he is right now.
I think he was trying to go heroic, and then this engagement Mythic, and then this engagement kind of happened, and he got out a whole bunch of additional food units.
Joe's listening. He must be. He's baiting me. He's like, oh, okay, I'll go. No, not Thoth. Osiris. There it is. Osiris is so key, I would say, in this matchup, because you get the Son of Osiris is just really hard to kill.
Yes.
Especially when your name is Joe. This guy's so good at at keeping that unit alive. Like that is, he literally built a career on this unit, on using this unit in every single tournament I've ever seen him. It's always like, dude, it's still alive. He's still getting value out of it.
Well,
Unless
dude, check it out. We got
I might
Dark
be
Wa-
cast as curse there.
You never know. You never know. I think that he's just about at the Vil limit. He's exactly where he wants to be, man. Like Mosca is not on this third town center just yet. He's kind of given Mosca that top side at the gold mines, which yeah, he maybe could have denied that completely and taken more map control. But like you said, he's pretty far ahead at this point in time. I don't think it's gonna matter much. Once Son of Osiris comes in, as we see a Tempest coming in, not too shabby, but he tries to get out of there.
It's a big amount of damage here. Mosca needs to get value out of this god power. It looks to me like Joe, he's simply going to be fine here. Pull back into this choke point. He's got the town center and the Migdol going to be helping out, and Mosca has to pull back.
Honestly, I really looking at Mosca's production. He's crushing it with production. I don't know what he can maybe stay in the heroic age and just go hard in the heroic age and try and fight straight up, 2 TC army against the Son of Osiris and get lucky with the Son of Osiris pick. But this army looks, maybe not. This army looks way too strong by Joe, man. Mosca's melting.
It looks strong, but it does look like Mosca is kind of pushing back for the time being. They don't really do anything. They're only good against heroes. Now with Son of Osiris, and that changes everything, and Mosca is out of there.
Yeah. Camels. The camels, he got Dark Water plus heavy camels. For the camels, those things should be pretty darn strong. Yeah, there it is.
I'm sure he'll go straight for, he doesn't have the favor just yet, but I'm sure he'll be working towards Desert Winds.
Yeah.
Mate, actually, never mind. Mummies are another option. Why not?
Like I said, those Bear Grease, right now the rock giants are not upgraded, so they're just rock giants rather than the Bear Greasy units. And yeah, I predict we should probably be seeing some catapults be making their way in pretty soon. And this Son of Osiris is probably going to carry Joe to game number 5.
Maybe. I mean, we are seeing Mosca doing some sneaky Norse shenanigans, trying to get a third town center behind all of this pressure. I think Joe did spot it. I don't know what he sent over there, if it's an accident or not. In the bottom town center there. The bottom. Yeah, he's spotted it, but he hasn't done anything to stop it. It's gonna like a hot minute there as the camel riders are gonna move over and deal with these bad boys.
Well done by Joe. Well done by Joe. Just sends one villager. I mean, like I said, I think he maybe coulda, woulda, shoulda established a little bit more map control around the center, the top side, this bottom side, etc. But hey, man, better late than never. They catch as a TC. I don't know what Mosca does at this point in time. Oh, he's up through Vidar. That's something.
He does have a Mythic Age God Power to come. Generally, the way you want to use this God Power is you want to like angle it into a building while running straight through an army. It's very challenging to do that when you're not set up with like buildings and things to launch pad off. And this Son of Osiris is just going to be denying any sort of movement out of Mosca's space. And all those 5 rock giants, they look gigantic, but Son of Osiris, he is very, very powerful. I think he did take a bit of a hit to his damage against Myth units, but he's still going to be very useful.
100%. And like I said before, they're not upgraded either, so not quite as strong as they could be.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Vodka, if we could, we'll try and find a monument. Is there a monument anywhere here in the center area for Joe? I don't think so. So I think
he's empowering something.
Is he?
Town center?
Oh, that's right. Because of the
there it is. Empowering it. There it is.
There it is. There it is. Okay, so
can't be clicking no Inferno on this position. He says it does mean he takes the Pharaoh out of his army, but it doesn't look like Joe even needs that yet.
I was gonna say maybe that is his one window of opportunity back into this game is a Vidar explosion to pick off Son of Osiris. I don't know, man. Doesn't really look like it.
Yeah, he's charging forward here. All these camel riders, they're not going to die too quickly. to any sort of throw an axeman army. They have a decent amount of HP, and the axemen just don't do that much damage to them. But the Fafnir almost dead. The Rock Giant's very low HP. Joe here, he's got an option. His options are let the Inferno come and just deal with it, rebuild his army, and try and push forward, or slow push forward with Monument.
Yeah,
He's got another fairy win here. So you can use that to empower the monument up. Get another one up, like delete the monument to the villages. Forward, throw that up. He's going to be in a good spot.
Exactly. I think he's chilling. I'm so sorry, Mosca, but there is no chance for him to come back here. It's doom and gloom. It kind of is what it is. He's down 4 town centers to ISIS. 280 population compared to 210. Son of Osiris still alive. The camels going in onto the gold mine.
They sneak in, and these camels, they're speedy. They've almost got themselves iron weapons as well. Mosca converts some dwarves into berserks, but that's just damage done there. You can sit here and lose the camels if you like, but you could just run away. No problems.
He got Desert Wind, by the way, so they are Darkwater Desert Wind camels. Extra brutal.
Yeah, very, very powerful there.
Mercenaries onto the gold mine. Ouch. Poor Mosca. Yeah, maybe Berserks after all. Gonna save that gold mine, but I don't know if it's enough to save the game. Oh, geez, sending in the cavalry, or the cavalry. Sheesh. It hurts, Boyd. It hurts. Poor Mosca.
That's such a great wall from Joe. Mosca has just trapped all the dwarves going down. At this stage of the game, losing these dwarves really isn't that big. The Inferno will come through. What is he at? Oh, he does manage to hit everything. Lots of low HP, but the town center had masons and sun-dried mud bricks. Was very much going to stay alive. Mosca's army melting to this axeman mass as he is able to break through here.
Hey, you know what? If you're in Mosca's shoes and you're playing against Joe, not too shabby. You ban Set, you ban Ra, you have to fight against ISIS. Okay, fine, whatever. I don't know. Someone who was saying in chat, Mosca doesn't look super comfortable with Freyr. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not true, I don't know. But honestly, you drop a game to ISIS, to an Egyptian, that's kind of expected. No problemo. I think psychologically speaking, mentally speaking, you can kind of brush this one off of your shoulders and just move into game 5 and, I don't know what I'm saying. No problem.
I mean, this game. Go on, man. This game was started off with Joe and with those Anubites, continued with Joe with those Anubites into the mid game, and then I wouldn't say finished with the Anubites, but he got himself the advantage in this game with that Anubite usage. Mosca maybe not prepared for this as well as he probably could have been. They have difficult units to deal with. You've got to spread your cursor around and kind of be prepared to deal with them. But this is the bread and butter here from Joe. This is how he makes this work.
Yeah. I don't think that Mosca really got that strong heroic age push going, right? Like there was just too much damage that Joe was getting, economically speaking. He took the 3rd town center eventually, and by the time Mosca was ready to start pushing out with his rock giants and everything, there was already a Son of Osiris in his face. So, well done. Oy, there we go. Speaking of locust and eco damage, there we go.
It was only like 3 or 4 villages. There wasn't that many.
Yeah, but then repeatedly Anubite.
Yeah. I'm just talking about the one locust. That's it. This is the locust.
Sure.
Only 3 or 4 villages, so not.
Could have been worse. Yeah. Well done by Joe. Good retreat there. But again, he's already so far ahead. Osiris already coming in. No problemo. Honestly, Boyd, I think that the terrain maybe had a little bit to do with this game because
Yeah.
it seemed like Mosca was like crammed into his corner, whereas Joe had all this elbow room in the middle of the map, right? For
Mm.
maneuvering and building, production if he needed to. It just, with Freyr, you to get upgrades and unit spam and all that stuff, you really want to get a pretty good amount of building spam, and it felt like it just seemed like he was a little bit cramped in between the forests and the canyon or the mountains and everything. Just a little bit cramped. You know what I mean?
It was. But next map here, Maiden, it's not going to be cramped. It's Elysium, very, very open. It's going to be Fushi for Joe, and it's going to be Uranus for Mosca. Mosca did have Loki in his back pocket here. A little bit surprised to see him go that way, but maybe he was scared of something else coming from Joe, like Hades maybe. But anyways, we're going to be jumping in right now, in onto Elysium. Game number 5, deciding round to get into the main event. This is the big one in the right-hand corner of the map, playing as the blue Fushi. His name is Joe, and his opponent in the red color, playing as Uranus. His name is Scar.
Well, okay, Boyd. Fushi, potential for aggression. I see a forward gold mine for Mosca. Are we going to see some action early on? Possibly, maybe, hopefully.
It makes sense, but it also you also think about it from the side of playing against Uranus and going, do I really want to bother when they've got the Sky Passage and they've got the Caladria and they've got the Valor, or they've got the Valor? So it's like these questions that I when I play against Uranus, those are the questions that go through my mind. I'm like, I really want to play aggressive. Let me play aggressive, and then I try it, and then they go, whoop, I'm through a Sky Passage, bye bye, and I'm like, and then you go and find it like 2 minutes later.
That's what you use your fun little lanterns for, however.
True. Now, I guess the other thing is we already saw one Atlantean versus Fushi matchup. I think it was Fushi. Maybe it was Fushi. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I'm wrong. It was Shenong. Anyways,
Shenong, yeah.
What Fushi wants to do is build pioneers, and to some degree, what Atlantean wants to do, they want to build Terma if they can, because you get like extra wood income or whatever. Wood gathers really quickly. Don't have to worry about food too much, and you just spam out happy days. So both players tech into the pioneer and the Terma, and then what? It could be the case here that Joe's got no idea what he's doing with China as well.
Indeed, indeed. So this is going to be interesting, right? but at the same time, if he, I don't know, he likes Anubite, like the Anubite play, kind of the classical harassment on a second town center. I could easily see him doing that with maybe some myth units, maybe some pioneers, that sort of thing. I could see that being possible. As he clicked up through help us vodka, help us vodka, help us. Chio.
Yeah, and Oceanus.
Yes, okay. Caladra.
So you're right. There's those Yatsu.
Mm-hmm.
They are right in the wheelhouse of things that Joe really enjoys. He's like, I like my dudes teleporting, I like my dudes jumping, and I like building a lot of them and killing your villagers. So good at controlling them. I wouldn't be surprised to see him not build a single Qualifier past that first one. Never mind, he's got them pretty good. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him not build many of them and just get a whole bunch of those out. You do have to be worried about Caladria, which can pacify, but you've got the Pioneers to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
If they can figure out how to hit the Pioneer, that is.
Yes.
Is this double counter barracks here?
Click them. Click them. Click them. That's a military barracks.
Military barracks, and double military.
Double. Oh.
That's surprising to me.
Straight Mermillo?
Yeah, and we see double military camp here for Joe, which is equally I mean, it's not really that surprising. I think the fire archers are really good,
Mm-hmm.
especially when your opponent isn't building any turn. So
Mm-hmm.
this to kick this game off with, yeah, straight into fire archers and live the dream here.
Well, okay. Let's see. I mean, it doesn't seem like we have much of an economic advantage either way just yet. Qualfu coming out. I believe, Boyd, have you done the math on Qualifier? Have you done the math on what's the optimal number of those bad boys to get out? Oh, he's got 3 of them.
I guess it really just depends on the food amount of food you want, right? I don't know. I haven't done the math. I don't know what the answer is, but like if you've got a very high food based army, like you're building like tiger cavalry, you're going to want to have a exceptional amount of peasants to ensure you've got the food income for those tiger cavalry. But if you're going for something more like Juko Nu, which are very heavy on wood and gold, then obviously more Qualfu are going to be very, very important.
Fair
Fire
enough.
archers cannot be built from the military camp. I apologize. We won't be seeing any of those. We'll be seeing Dao swordsmen. You can tell that it's 5:15 a.m. at the moment, right? Okay, 5:15 a.m. There's at some point the brain tends to leave the body.
It tends to leave. Well, okay. It's getting pretty late for Joe as well. You know, it's what time is it? Oh, maybe not. It's like 10 o'clock for him. Maybe not. Never mind. And it's kind of late afternoon for Moscow over there in Brazil.
Yeah.
So no problem. These guys should be tippity top performance at the moment.
Yeah.
By the shark coming in, by the way, on those Mermillo. Oh, he did go for some turbo. There you go, boy.
They are. I guess the interesting thing here is these Dao swordsmen. I don't know how they do against Mermillo. I mean, obviously the Mermillo don't have to ever fight them. They go up to like 5. I think they go up to 5 speed. Maybe I'm wrong on that. With the Imperium speed from Kronos. So they if they don't want to fight, they don't have to. They don't yet have that speed upgrade. But yeah, the Dao swordsmen are just so slow. Do they actually win the fight? I'm not sure. 143 HP, 30% hack armor,
Yeah.
8-ish damage per second.
You could maybe save him for kind of like an Athena style play defense, get your food going, get the numbers going, and then your army's going to be slower. So eventually push out on a second gold mine.
I guess
There's some logic there.
the one thing that Joe does have is that lightning weapons. So if he has to take a fight in a pinch, he's going to get value out of it. If Moscow's forcing drop the lightning weapons, they're going to stun everything, and they're not going to be able to run away.
Sure. Both players just jostling for position here. I don't know if Moscow can find anything. Qualfu going hard on that gold mine.
Yeah, we are seeing some of those Yatsu to come through as well.
Nice. Oh, that's so cool. Man, it's so unexpected. I love it.
I mean, at this point,
I think it looks way cool. Come on.
I think it does.
Am I wrong?
It's awesome. I want to see him go get some raids in with them. Stay away from the Caladria. Snipe some villages. Snipe some oracles. Get out on the map. Yeah, there he goes.
There he goes.
I guess the weakness of well, not the weakness. The thing that's a little bit worse off for playing with Yatsu as Fushi rather than as Shinong, as we do see them getting kind of caught off there, is that they don't have any healing. They can't jump back to the main base and heal up in favored land.
True. Okay,
you got to be so careful with them.
Absolutely, and he was just there. That was a really excellent play by Mosca, sending out those Mermillo over on that top side, and he completely caught those Yatsu. Excellent defense there. Good reaction by Joe, not to lose the HP, like Boyd just mentioned. Those Dao swordsmen, dude, he's got a good amount of those suckers now. Look at that.
There are a lot. He doesn't... I'm trying to remember which god has the boosted Dao swordsman.
I have no idea. Is it Gualmong by?
I don't think it's Golmang. No, because this one gets a boost. You boost your cavalry, I believe.
Okay.
So no
Go
boosted
along.
no boosted Deuterinos here in the Dow Swordsman situation. But
Okay.
he's gonna have the defensive god power to just keep himself very much safe and very much in this game, wherever he wants to go for.
Indeed. I like how Joe's backing off right there. He's up through the heroic age. So I suppose he's just gonna wait to make all those swordsmen heavy, not wanting to take a preemptive fight right before
Yeah,
he ages up, I suppose.
there's no need. There's no
Might be
need
forced
to.
to.
There's no need to take one. Pull back. Get underneath the town center. The pacify comes through from those Caladria, but not that much damage to come in. And
Yep.
the other thing here, if you didn't know this, one of the big boosts or bonuses for Fushi, as we see the lightning weapons get dropped down here, and a shockwave as the disengagement comes through. But one of the big advantages of Fushi is if your building is on favored land, it researches lightning.
Aha. Sick. So what has he got coming in? It's got heavy coming in. Looks like it. Those heavy Dow swordsmen.
He needs the gold.
Okay.
He needs the gold.
Oh, is that pre-queued? Okay. Caladria, or sorry, Carnivora coming in. Big fight here. We're just, whoa!
Dawu says, "Get out of that, Millos. We want to make this happen. There's so much food in the bank for Joe. He needs some golds here. His army numbers look like they're falling. Those Mermillo do an exceptional job at this point.
Those are Bite of the Shark Mermillo, man.
Yeah,
those and the Tao Wu or whatever it's called, that thing is down. Bite of the Shark is biting, the Dow Swordsman right in the keister. Dude, if he took those, if he had that gold, and if he took that fight with heavy swordsman, he probably would have won that.
Would have been a completely different situation. And there's the forest protection. But this doesn't really protect the gold mine. And now Mosca, he has got the victory in sight.
Yes.
Gold Star is on the table here. Actually, is there a Peach Blossom Spring still remaining? A Peach Blossom, what's it called? The pink thing? No, it's gone. It's
the pink thing?
No extra gold.
No pink thing for you, boy.
No pink thing. There is a Talwu. That's fun. We're kind of. Do you know League of Legends at all? There's Rammus, right? There's this unit kind of just rolls in and kind of
that thing is about to Rammus that red army. If he gets a special attack off, there's a Rammus for you, boy. There's a double Rammus for you, boy. Let's go.
He wasted the special, and the rest of Joe's army looks to be really struggling. He pulls back onto the forest protection. He will get the HP back up. There's just so many units here for Mosca, as all of Joe's Deuterinos are looking like they are falling at the moment.
His population, 98 military pop to 18. This is it. It looks like this is it. That Tao Wu thingy is sick. Maybe not sick enough, though. He's got to retreat. He's toast, man. He's toast. The Qualifier going down. Looks like Moss. Dude, Bite of the Shark for the win. Bite of the Shark for the freaking win. Finally, Dow Swordsmen are heavy, but it is a little bit too late.
It is too little too late. I mean, he's got to somehow get up an army with 0 gold income. Down 23 villages. 25 villages.
Yes.
This is not looking good for Joe.
No, I guess yeah, it's not looking good at all, man. 12 military population compared to 100. Are you kidding me? Eat the berries, sell the food, do something. Resign.
Well, that's one thing you can do, and that's the game there. Honestly, a well-played game from Mosca. He reacted to what Joe was doing beautifully, and it just won the game. That's all you can say. I think Joe needed to get himself out some fire archers or something else to deal with, or Shuko Nu once he hit the heroic age, something else to deal with those Mermillo. Pure Dow swordsmen. I don't think they're cut out to cut those Mermillo down.
Well, at least not with the shark power, under their belt, I guess. um, yeah, the bite of the shark is great, man. Bite of the shark, Mamillo, crush infantry, man. Hoplites, Dow swordsmen, Herseer, Ulfs, everything. Those things are freaking strong. Units
Yeah.
killed. The KD is not too shabby, man. But ultimately, the production just so much better. And ta-da! This was a great reaction right here from Molska to get away from lightning weapons. He runs away and then boom, shockwaves away. Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Yeah, this fight here is just it kind of looks like it's going okay, especially with the Tao Wu to
Yeah,
come in, but I mean the numbers just not there. Like we were saying it, if heavy infantry was in on this fight, probably a different story. But
yeah,
he just he just didn't have it. It just wasn't there.
yeah,
The gold was not the
yeah.
income was not in.
He's got 0 on gold, 27 on food, for crying out loud. Holy smokes. Why take like, was this fight necessary? Joe must have felt overconfident with these Dow swordsmen, not quite expecting those boom, so sick, boom, not quite expecting the bite of the shark to be so powerful against him.
Yeah,
Um,
he had forest protection, and I think if it just like set
mm,
up on this gold mine, don't even need a ballet. Just put like a regular building down and
mhm.
then hit forest protection there and just hang out for a little bit longer while you start working into those stronger Chuko Nu, and you're in a great spot.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, that was a great ending there to that series nonetheless. We'll play to Moscow and we'll be seeing him next week, Maiden, because next week is
Indeed.
the main event. And not only Mosca, we're also going to be seeing Lukey, Nullus, El Matador. We're going to be seeing. Wait, hang on, let me get a list up here. Phil Maiden.
Yeah, we saw the conclusion. Go find it. You got it. You got it. The conclusion of the Nullus B series was that fiery Odin, that weird fiery Odin game, I guess you could call it. Mosca just taking the win over Joe. Remember the El Matador series? That feels like a lifetime ago. A lifetime of a series was a lifetime ago.
Yeah,
We weren't able to catch the Loki series, unfortunately. That would have been really exciting. Gabu is a dynamic player. That would have been really exciting to catch some of the action on that top left side of the bracket. But he's a little bit too efficient for us, 2-zip, 3-zip.
that's right.
And he goes into the main event in pretty strong fashion.
Uh,
Do you find the player numbers,
yes,
all
yes.
16 players?
So the players who qualified through the qualifiers. So yesterday we saw Mini Yeti, Super FM, Tiger Boss, Unison going through. So we're going to be seeing them next week. But the ones who qualified through the esports ranking, the players we're going to be excited to watch. We've got Grass, I Am Magic, Chemo, Kavoth, Recon, the Mister, the Rapple, and Ulysses. So really, really big names, big games coming, and to be sure, some incredibly good action next week.
Indeed.
Is there anyone you're like super excited to see? I know that everyone's excited to see the Mister because he only kind of comes out of the shadows in the
Out of his
tournament
cornfield.
season. That's right, in the tournament season. But
Uh, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be interesting to see what Nolus is able to put together. Not that I'm like, oh, but good job by Nolus to qualify. First of all, but since he's been a little bit MIA from the competitive scene in Retold so far, I know he's been doing university and all that sort of thing. So by all means, real life is more important ultimately. But I think it's going to be interesting to see if he's has time and attention and everything to dedicate, to devote. It'll be really interesting to see how far he's able to go. It's going to take some work to get up to speed in terms of meta and everything like that.
mm,
But it'll be interesting to see what he's able to pull off.
well, anyways, Maiden, it was an awesome day. Absolutely fantastic. We're going to be sending you guys over to Mr. Husk Soup. He's streaming some more games. And we will be back with you next week on Saturday at believe it's 15 GMT. So make sure you tune in then for the main event. See you there.
Or B square.